We have two diverse customers, two diverse profiles of customers present amongst us today. So let me start with you, Chetan. Would you broadly give an overview of Jindal and the context of why did you embark on this journey? What were some of the challenges you faced?
So JSPL is a steel and power manufacturing organization primarily, and besides being in oil and gas, realty and aviation business. Now, over the last 5 years, we have really gone global. So we have operations in Georgia, in Bolivia, in several countries in Africa, Indonesia, Australia, besides large manufacturing plants in India. We have about 8,000 people, which is 8,000 white collar workers, and overall about 20,000 people. And I think last year we clocked about $5 billion in revenue. That's at a very high level. And so we are truly a global workforce now, and we really need to kind of collaborate across the world.
Yeah. Sure. IndiaMart is India's largest B2B marketplace. Spread over India, we have around 50 offices and we are touching around 100 locations in India. We have over 3,000 employees. So our main work is to connect suppliers and buyers. So we generate business leads for our 1.6 million suppliers in India, and we are generating leads from over 6.5 million buyers from all across the globe.
So Chetan, what challenges did you face because of which you went on to the cloud journey?
As we kind of were going global, we were looking for a state-of-art collaboration solution. I mean, we had a mailing system, but we wanted to go far beyond mailing. Invoice, video, documents, something that our people could collaborate across locations without any barriers, get into a voice, video kind of a thing. So we were evaluating several unified communication products to really give a unified experience to the users. That was the key driver.
Right, right. And in that context, how was your experience with Google, and what were some of the reasons for which you went on the Google journey?
So, I mean, early on during our evaluation, we had kind of decided that cloud is the way. So that made our job kind of, all the on-premise solutions were out. We believe that cloud is the way. We can't, match that user experience from on-premise solutions. And our experience has been really good. I mean, all our 8,000 people are enabled, and we extensively use all the great things that Harshal had shown us. So Docs is a part of, very important part of our organization. And by and large, if I say it's not just any other form of offices, we are getting away from, client-based software. So we no longer send a lot of attachments. We just edit them online, we share it, and stuff like that. So that's truly transforming and bringing in a new culture. So our experience has been very good. I mean, we thought that it's going to be very difficult. People are going to kind of, resist or whatever. But I mean, they use Gmail day in, day out. They have been using webmail. So we didn't really get any resistance, or we didn't have to give a lot of training, because a lot of our sites are really remote. So had the need for training would have been there, it would have been very difficult. So we're just at a kind of, we rolled it out, and that's right.
Great, thank you. So Amit, what about you? What were some of the challenges you were looking at overcoming when you moved on to the cloud journey?
Sure. Actually, if I look at, we were a very small company initially, around 35, 40 people to 3,000 people. So initially everything was managed.
There was huge growth which came.
Yeah, so it's in 10, 12 years. So initially we have been managing our, all infrastructure, our own in-house premises and all. But the way we started growing and we started going multi-geographies or multi-locations, it was becoming a challenge. So bigger challenge was to manage the infrastructure, because that was not our core business. Our core business was generating leads and attracting buyers for our suppliers, not the managing infrastructure for the mail solution or the other solutions. So when we looked at the manageability, we had to deal with a lot of partners. Like for email solution, I have to deal with the server. I need to deal with the software, which is the, which will distribute the mails to different users, maybe creation of users, maybe then virus protection, you have to sign up with some other company. For spam protection, you need to sign up with some other company. Maybe for backup, you need to sign up with some other company. So there are a lot of different point of contact that you need to manage the relationships. So then we had to think about some solution where we can have only one point of contact which could do all of this for us. And of course, more above over that, there are new security patches that keep coming every day to day. So you have to apply that patch on your server. As soon as you apply that patch on your server, all the other softwares are obsolete. So you need to upgrade all these softwares also. So you need a bandwidth of people and engineers who would manage your RT infrastructure, and then you have to manage those engineers, and you need the management to manage those engineers. Now when you tie up with some company like Google and you go cloud, you need one operator. He may not be the engineer, and now Google engineers are doing everything for me. So I need not worry about the security patches. I only worry about the work that I am getting. So my system is live. I am getting the latest softwares, latest technology. So manageability was the biggest reason. Second was the accessibility, because when we had the previous solutions, we had the email clients installed on our computers. So we had to stick to one computer to work on it, because there's an email client on that, maybe Eudora or maybe Outlook, on which the emails are residing, and all those emails are there on the system. Now, when we are going mobile and my people are going all across India, you need a solution where you can access your emails from everywhere, maybe mobile, maybe laptop, maybe I should not be worried about a device, so I should be device independent. So cloud makes me device independent. I can go anywhere and access my stuff from everywhere. And third is the saving. So suppose if I've got 40 offices, I'm hiring all across India in 40 locations. So I have the choice to have either 40 trainers, which I deploy each of these locations, or I get one trainer at one location and he travels. So he keeps giving me, bills to travel by air and hotel bills and this and that. Or I have one solution which gives me the power to do it, you know, Hangout. So my trainer is there centrally located, and the guys can log into Hangout, and then we can do all the trainings in one go,
Right.
all across the locations. So it saves time. So it is and again the collaboration, when you send the attachment, and as we were seeing, so we have been doing that. So suppose one presentation is to be prepared and three people are doing it simultaneously, it saves lots of time rather than sending it as an attachment and everybody adds their bit and sends it back to me. Then I have to figure out who has done what kind of change, and then I have to understand that change and make one final presentation and then send back to everyone for their approvals.
Various versions and
Absolutely.
yeah.
So that helps me. So collaboration helps me, accessibility helps me, it saves time and manageability so that I can focus on my core
Right.
competencies.
On the business, right. So, Chetan, you mentioned that, basically you were looking at transformation of your organization. So after implementing such a solution, what kind of transformation do you do? Have you changed the way the organization operates or collaborates? Could you talk a little bit?
Absolutely. We very extensively use Hangouts. We screen share, we make presentations through the screen share on Hangouts. So I think it's an entire cultural transformation where people share very extensively. I mean, voice is kind of, by and large, our, kind of dependence on mobile phones is reducing. And there are people like me who don't even use the intercom. We prefer to click, and even someone who is, next door. It's a simpler way because you can take more people on call. You can have multi-party chats. So I think the experience has been phenomenal. The number of mails that were sent across has come down drastically because online chats often, kind of do what you would need to send in a mail. So I think that's a huge cultural transformation, and despite being a manufacturing company, which is supposed to be a very traditional company, we are now very state of art in terms of collaboration. Geography doesn't matter, country doesn't matter. and you can very easy. So we have achieved the original objective, which was a phenomenal, unbeatable user experience where people could really come together and work as a global workforce.
Oh, great. And I think a lot of people in the audience would be having this question, and I'll ask you that. You mentioned that you have offices in quite a few locations, and I would assume some of them are in remote parts of the country as well. I do know that some of your plants are in remote parts of the country. How has been your experience in terms of deployment across in those areas where perceivably we feel that internet is not available or inconsistent or not always on?
So I'm glad you used the word perceivably because, even the remotest parts of places like Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh and Odisha, and we not just use Google, we use telepresence extensively, which are very bandwidth hogging applications. And we have never really faced any challenge of bandwidth.
So Amit, in your context, you are relatively a new age company, if I may use that word there. I mean, your growth in the last couple of years has been really phenomenal. So after implementing Google Apps, so what is the kind of transformation you saw in the organization, or how did it help really in your growth?
Yeah, actually, when you think about it, it looks very scary.
And I just want to say, I'm asking this because you come from a non-IT perspective, so you come from an ops perspective, right?
Yeah.
So what has been your view?
So it's just actually scary in mind, but when you use it, it's very simple. So I tell you, when we thought, okay, tomorrow let's go Google. So today all people are very much used to those my desktop and their client, email client that they are using. And I have to now put them to global. So what we said, okay, so let's do that in 3 steps. So step 1 was, we sent one email to everyone that from tomorrow morning, before you check your email, you just need to change the SMTP and POP address of your mail client. And instead of 192.168. Which was of my local SMTP server, I gave the Google IP address, and everything else remains the same. So first they tried, it was not working, they saw, we gave them the printouts also on each of the desks, so they changed their IP address and then their email was working. So first was the very smooth transition, they even did not know that they have gone Google. So they were checking the emails now from the Google servers. After a week, we said, okay, so you have been using your emails very fine. Now, if you want to check your emails on Gmail, you can do that. So that was the wow, and everybody was surprised. On Gmail, how can we check our emails on Gmail? We said, okay, why don't you try? So they opened the Gmail because most of them were used to using Gmails because their personal email accounts were on the Gmail. So they opened the Gmail, they used their email address, amit@india.com and their password, and it was working. So they were surprised. Okay, so we can check our emails on Gmail also. We said yes. So this is how they all went Google. Maybe a month they still use both the modes, and after a month, I think we started removing the mail clients, and now we are not having any mail client all across our organization. So none of the people have got the mail client. Now nobody is downloading their emails, everybody is checking their emails online.
Right.
So that was the email transition. When you say about the document transition, it is even more scary. You go to your employee and say, tomorrow onwards, you are not going to get the Microsoft Office. And he will say, I'm going to resign because I can't survive without Microsoft Office because I can't work without that. But once you tell them, okay, this is how you have to do, you go there and you do it. And once you show them whatever features that any normal user can use, maybe 90% of the users, everything is available there in a similar fashion. And once they start doing it once or twice, not more than twice, even if they do it twice, they would be more comfortable doing it online. Because now they know they can access that document from anywhere they are. So even at the 6 o'clock, they are working on a document and they have to leave because their cabs are leaving. They leave and they go home and they log in again and they complete their document without worrying about anything else. In fact, I don't know why it happens. It happened last time also when I was interacting with one of your seminar. Just before that, last week my hard disk crashed.
Okay.
So I created a ticket at Dell. They came, they put my new hard disk, and they went. And I'm still, though I am a smart, IT savvy, I had the backup. But that backed up hard disk is still there in my laptop, but I never use it.
Right.
I was never required to do it because my whole life is on the cloud. So my new hard disk came, they installed the OS and few software, that's it. So I was working as I was working earlier
No
also.
disruption for you.
Yeah, so for me, the point is ki life is so easy that I need not worry about my own data now. Because earlier what used to happen, if the hard disk was crashed, it was a panic, my whole data is gone. Today my no data is gone because everything is there on the cloud. So I can access all my documents from anywhere. So laptop for me is nothing now. I need a device, I can use it from mobile, laptop, desktop, anywhere in the office I am, I can sit on any seat and I can work the way I am working here.
Right, right. Great, amazing insights. So, Chetan, a lot of people sitting in the audience probably are thinking on moving to the journey on the cloud, and Chetan and I'll come to you, Amit, as well. What would be your advice in terms of what challenges they need to be aware of, and how can they kind of overcome that? So, what do they need to be aware of when they embark on this journey?
So, I mean, I would say that there should really nothing should be holding them back from all this experience. There are a lot of perceived baggage that we carry. And we perceive that, there's going to be a resistance from people and stuff like that. But through my own experience, I can vouch the maximum resistance comes from the IT people themselves. So they are worried what will happen to their jobs, and as Amit mentioned that there is only one administrator, no one else is required. So, so the people will feel, what do we do then? So I think it's more about a challenge of managing that transition, of making people move up the value chain. But from a business perspective, even if it is done in one stroke, there would be hardly any disruptions. Now, out of 8,000 users, less than 100 use a client. And those two, again, very old people who have reached a point where they don't want to transition. And even those people also have a web client on because they want to experience both. For experience, I would say that Google Apps is far more secure than what your normal application would be. It is encrypted. Your your administrator cannot see the mails. You can have things like two-factor authentication. But these are the issues you should, rather than having a perception about it, have a candid discussion. Later, maybe you would be amongst the last 10% or 20% who are making the transition, because this is unavoidable. This is absolutely the direction of technology when we move into the world of disparate devices. I mean, essentially, cloud is the way. There is no doubt about it. So I would encourage you to have these discussions with the Google team and get very clear, understand what encrypted mailing is, understand what encrypted administration is, and get into those points and then move on kind of with a confidence.
Thank you so much. I think these are very, very powerful insights. Amit, from your perspective?
I would say a little different view because from my standpoint, I would say pick one item at a time and make your users comfortable with one item, say email first. First 1 month you devote only on email, convert them completely on email, then pick maybe documents, then pick maybe hangouts, then make maybe calendars, then maybe something else. So if you pick one item at a time and keep maybe 6 months plan that you create, and then you, because you have got the partners also, they will help your team, they will come at your locations, they will train your users. So if you give them 6 trainings in a day for 6 different topics, they might be confused. So maybe if you pick one item at a time and keep maybe weekly plan and a monthly plan to migrate one item at a time, I think that would be wonderful.
Okay, so essentially what you're saying is that change management is really important, and how a company goes through change management will decide the success of your implementation over a period of time.
I don't doubt the success of the implementation. I'm only saying that the usefulness of it.
Yes, effectiveness, yeah. Right.
Because if tomorrow we ask people have to do it, they will do it. Anyway, they will have to do it. So,
Right.
but if you give them the room to think and apply and then learn and then do, they would happily do it.
Yes, got it. Got it, got it. So before we open up the forum to audience for questioning both of you and the Google team as well, A couple of last questions around what are your future plans as you now look forward into the future? So,
We are very, very kind of convinced about the cloud, and we have moved almost everything on the cloud. So our entire data center has shrunk to about 2 racks, and we run hundreds of virtual servers on different operating systems, and the entire collaboration has moved to the public cloud. And the response has been humongous. We are very happy with it. So that has become a roadmap. And from a devices perspective, we are looking at the virtual desktop infrastructure, BYOD, because we believe that PCs are really on their way out in the next 2 years, 3 years. They will not be there. So a lot of focus is on moving our enterprise applications to mobile devices. So that's a very, very important area for us. We are investing a lot in analytics. And so cloud, analytics, mobility are the key things. And with the universe, so we also use a lot of the social capabilities that Google Apps brings in automatically.
right.
So these are the areas we are moving on.
Great. Thank you so much. Amit?
I would say that we have always been in the front end of the new technologies. We started India Mart in 1996 when internet itself in India was very at nascent stage. Yes. We were targeting SMEs and exporters in 1996 and asking them to do export through internet when internet, they did not even have the email address of the computer at their homes. So of course we think about the IT future and we want to match a pace with that. That is how we moved on to Google also, and we look forward to new advanced things coming up, maybe Google Chromebook or something like that, when we can actually be the completely mobile, where we have the Chromebook and then no name is printed on that. So anybody can come pick any Chromebook and start working on it.
Right.
My question is on the cost. So what are the cost saves that you saw on implementation, and what are the projected cost saves over, let's say, next 3 to 5 years because of this shift?
Right, cost is nothing, for something, anything which you get at ₹5 may be costly, and something that you get at 5 lakh rupees may not be the costly. So it's perceived value of something and the value that you derive from that. So though you cannot have the direct comparison with the cost, but if you compare cost with time and speed, then of course cloud is something that you must go on, because you get the speed and you save the time and you focus on your core competencies. If your core competencies and your core business is more important for you, and if you feel the time spent on these irrelevant activities more costly, so cost of your time is something that you should calculate. If your time is important, expensive, then use it in the expensive things, which is your core business, and you drive your business for the future. Right? If you spend your time in the non-relevant activities, probably your business would be laggard somewhere, because there's a time, there are 24 hours that you can spend for anything else.
And I would like to add that the cost will be very, very favorably, it will be substantially lower than what you are spending. So if you are compared the licenses, the hardware, the people and everything, it will be very, very significantly lower.
What kind of jumps in productivity have you seen?
Time saving, that's most important, I say, because time is something which is the only resource which cannot be stressed. You have only 24 hours, right? So suppose if, as I said earlier, if there's a document which is to be prepared, and if I send that, and you are 5 people who are my bosses or maybe my peers, and I have to create one presentation and send to him. I design it, I send to you, and all 5 of you have to give your feedback on that, or maybe comments, or maybe collaborate. How would we do in the general world? I'll send that email to you, you all will work on that, send it back to me, and I have to wait until I get it back. I cannot work on that document because I've already given or sent one version to you. Once I get back, I get 5 versions from each one of you, and I have to spend another X time to study all these 5 versions and then create my own version and then send back to you for the approval. Again, I have to wait until I get the approval, and then once it is approved, I'll send back to him. If I do it in the collaborative environment, I can do that in 5, 10, 15 minutes. So the time that I saved is more important than anything else for me.
And having those files on our desktop, it gives us assurance, okay, I can access it anytime. Being online means you need an internet connection anywhere to access those. So I know that you can download the Google Docs and then work offline too, but then how do you make that switch in the mind that okay, even if the internet is not there, you need to do this thing to be able to access it. And then linking this to the mobile devices or smart devices, how does that problem gets addressed in case
Fantastic.
internet is not there?
Fantastic question. I'll just take a line from what Amit said. It's about those baby steps. It's about change management. Uh, we feel very strongly it's not about just moving to Google Apps or any other cloud solution. It's about how you manage your users to move. They're familiar with this, they're very familiar, but they're so used to coming and working on that Microsoft Word and in that kind of an environment that to change that perspective, it takes, yes, it's a journey. And we strongly recommend that you go through a change management process. We have ourselves learned a lot from the 5 million customers that have gone live, and most of our partners are equipped enough to help our customers go through the change management process. I mean, there are amazing examples of how, I'll give you an example. There's a company called Globe, which is probably the second largest telecommunication company in Philippines. They used to create these pods in their lunchroom where they used to get the users who used to pass by. Obviously, they used to come to the lunchroom, and every day they had a different aspect of the Google Apps, and they used to talk about how it can be effectively used to make them productive. So there are many ways, in which we can work together with the partners to make that happen within the organization. But we need support from the management of the organization to say, yes, I want to bring about this change, because I believe in that innovation story.
See, what is the possibility, any crash or anything you have experienced, or any loss of data, loss of information, whatever you have, because it is only one copy which is available there. Suppose you don't have a backup kind of thing, at least somebody had it.
Okay.
Suppose you entirely start depending. And since how long you are using this?
We have these SLA agreements with Google, and so these are in a clustered environment, backed up, and the probability of data loss is definitely, extremely remote, if at all it is there. I mean, I have my infrastructure head, Mr. Jain, who would know whether it is, 99.9% of time or 99 or whatever, but the possibility of data loss is extremely remote.
It's not one copy that we have. Even if you don't say it, Google at any given point in time makes 6 to 7 copies in our different data centers to ensure that your data is available. And that's what our backup strategy is. My inbox is actually broken up into small chunks and spread across the data center. Nobody could come in and take out, oh, here's Jindal's data in this rack, let me take it out. First of all, they won't get access to the data center. I, as an employee, also do not have access to the data center. But if somebody were to go in, it cannot be taken out and said, oh, here's a rack. It's spread across different systems. When you access your Google Apps, it all puts it together, renders it, and makes it available to you. So my data could be lying next to a YouTube video, could be lying next to Chetan's inbox, could be lying next to Amit's drive, could be lying next to Mohit's some other sent message. Trust me, we spent millions and millions of dollars to ensure the security of the data, because we know that till each one of you trusts us, you will not want to move on this. And just last month, there are organizations, KTB, the second largest bank in Thailand, went live. They had gone ahead with Google. BBVA, the largest bank in Spain, has more than 120,000 users. A bank, guys, a bank. There must be something about security at Google where these organizations trust us to ensure that their data or their inbox or their drive, their documents are on Google's infrastructure.
We going Google. Can Google come to us in the sense
We are here.
that you provide services on our infrastructure, on our cloud, on our intranet, and the air gap between the internet and our intranet is maintained?
Okay. If there are other applications that government agencies are using from the Google enterprise, yes. So there are geo applications, especially the geospatial. You also heard Mohit talk about the Thai Parliament, which is using a GSA, a search which is within the infrastructure, within your infrastructure to be able to search. But if it's specifically talking about Google Apps for Business, it's not going to happen because it's against the basic philosophy of us at Google.
What is the plan for bringing Chrome devices to India? I mean, India has been one big market, and it's been a while since, you know, we've seen these devices, customers, educational customers, everybody's asking for them. There are obvious advantages, management through Chrome, mobile devices. I mean, and still, you know, we are struggling, okay.
Yeah, so I think you're asking this question at the right time and probably asking the question for a lot of people in the crowd today. I'll not want to put a finger on a date right now, but all I can tell you is that keep watching this space. You should hear very, very soon about Chrome devices coming into the country. We've been kind of tied down by some regulatory, taxation, other commercial related issues because of which we couldn't get them here, but I guess we are overcoming those issues and you should be hearing about them very, very soon. We are talking to OEMs because they will be available through third-party OEMs. You should be seeing that soon.
For us, it took about 4 to 5 months. A lot of these places were quite remote. So yes, 4 to 5 months we were able to migrate 8,000 units.
If you talk about the usage, yes, you have to give the training. So you have to pick one item at a time and you keep, so one item when you pick and you give training to people, I think 2 to 3 weeks is the time frame that people are comfortable with that piece. So 2 to 3 weeks to item, maybe 5 items if we look at the major pie. So I think 5 to 6 months.
Are you using Chrome or are you using other legacy browsers? And another important part, are you still using any, you know, mail clients like Outlook or et cetera, et cetera?
No, I said earlier also, mail clients, no.
Nobody's
Definitely no. No one is using mail clients in our organization now. Regarding browser, we have an open policy because we are a web development company, right? So we develop the websites and showrooms for Indian suppliers. So our websites have to be compatible with all the browsers available in the world. So we cannot keep one browser which is only only to be used. So we keep it open. Though we like this Chrome the most because it is lightest and the rendering of this browser is the fastest. But we have to test the websites in other browsers as well. So there is no such company policy.
We are more on interoperability than standardization. So we are not prescriptive about what browsers you use. We are not prescriptive about whether you use an Outlook or don't use Outlook and stuff like that. It is just that we have observed that people have migrated to web client, but we do use Safari, Chrome, Internet Explorer, and we are not going to get prescriptive about the software anytime soon. And for us, it is more about evangelization. So for instance, Mr. R.K. Jain, who is our infrastructure head, is a huge evangelist. It's not that is every feature of Google Apps being used by every user, probably not. So we kind of evangelize, and it's a process where people are using more and more of it. Yet some of the users will continue to use MS Office. Some of them will use LibreOffice, and a lot of users would be completely online, and will not be prescriptive.
So what percentage of users are actually using Google Apps on mobile devices? And do you have any apprehensions towards, let's say senior management or people who have confidential business data towards using, Google Apps on their mobile devices?
No, absolutely not. So, I mean, a lot of people consume it through iPads. I would say, so while the access to mails through iPads is pervasive, everyone does it. The cloud part of document, again, it's like we have things like vaults which Google provide. We have things like mail encryption which is available on Chrome. So we have a lot of stuff and standard operating procedures, but we are not prescriptive and we have no doubt for security. So we have done our kind of homework and we are very confident.
More than half are mobile internet consultants.
Wow.
So they are actually in the fields. So they don't sit in the office. So they go and meet clients. So most of the times they are on the roads. So they are mobile. So they have to access their emails on their Blackberries or iPads or maybe mobiles only. So half of them is definitely online, mobile. And remaining half is anyway they are online on the desktops or laptops. So maybe another 30% of them would be completely mobile because they also have the meetings which are not there on their workstations.
I have some data from my application, from some third-party application or from in-house application.
Right.
And I want to get it migrate to Google Docs for some analysis or some presentation.
So what kind of data is it? Is it like Word docs or PDFs or?
And it could be Excel, it could be a Word document,
So
or
this is,
it could be some data to I want to generate automated emails to send some set of people and all.
we are talking about two very different things. So I'll answer the way I've understood your question. One is you have some files that you want to migrate to the drive. Yes, you can do that. I can upload any kind of a document to the drive.
The data can be directly migrated to Google Docs
Absolutely.
or the other way around.
That can be done. So
Okay.
because it's a cloud-based application, there are APIs that are available.
Okay.
You can either push in data or get
Correct.
data out.
See, only commercial organizations or individuals have also used for keeping their, scanned documents or some personal.
You can do that today. So if you have a Gmail account, you
Okay.
can upload your documents
Is
into
it
the cloud.
chargeable or it is?
Free. No, your personal Gmail is free.
No, personal Gmail account is free.
Yeah.
But otherwise loading these documents and whatnot in cloud.
So you get Google Drive.
You can only upload it if you have a Gmail account or a Google account.
Okay.
Okay, so if you have a Gmail account, you can do it today. If you have a Google Apps for Business account, yes, you can do it also.
Who's the custodian of the data?
Okay.
What do you do with this data? I'm sure you use it for research purposes, but then who owns it? And how do you handle privacy issues?
Okay. So any data that you upload or your emails is your IP. The data does not belong to us in any way. We as employees of the organization also do not get access to that data. The enterprise owns the data.
Okay.
It's just utilizing services of Google services to keep the data on Google servers, but that's about it. You own the data. We have all kinds of possible certifications that you could possibly think of, including the ISO 27001 and the EU certifications. So from a certification perspective, we're all there. I think it's more important to understand the kind of auditing a BBVA bank or a POSCO or KTB would have gone through to make sure that they are able to trust their data to be kept on the Google servers. So yes, it's possible for us to be able to share those audits that have gone in with some of our customers under an NDA. I think it's a matter of trust, as I said. Till you trust us, you will not want to put the data out there. And there must be something, as you rightly said, Whirlpool has signed up for a global rollout, across the world. I am sure that Whirlpool would have done its due diligence to make sure that the data is going to be as secure as they possibly would want to. Really encourage you to go on our Google Enterprise site. There are security white papers there which talk about security and how Google knows and understands that how important this is for enterprise.